Now to new details in the deadly mid-air plane crash. Emergency crews spent a second day searching the Potomac River for victims. There are still many people who remain unidentified or unaccounted for. Our Sabrina Franza is live for us in the newsroom with more on what happened today. Sabrina.
Hi, Marie. The National Transportation Safety Board plans to give another update on their investigation in about an hour and a half. We know that they have recovered 2 black boxes from the airplane. We are also now hearing exclusively from some of the families of the victims who sat down with CBS News to talk about this incredible nightmare.
I was watching the news as it unfolded, and they were breaking it on the news. There's a lot of groups in D.C., a lot of different Black Hawks. I know what the routine is, so it could have been anybody in his group. They could be, they're all throughout D.C. I just knew.
Gary O'Hara says his son, Ryan O'Hara, a U.S. Army Black Hawk pilot, loved flying over Washington, D.C. Ryan was 28 years old and leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old son. His father says Ryan trusted the crew he flew with his life. He and his son were just texting on the day Ryan's military helicopter struck an American Airlines passenger jet.
How do you deal with thinking about your son to think, how is this even happening? How can this be real? We were laughing and texting to each other, talking about when he would move here and we'd be, living together as a family. And, especially to basically witness your son's death in the news, it's devastating.
Yeah, well,
CBS News also sat down with Tim Lilly, father of Sam Lilly, the pilot and first officer of the American Airlines flight. He imagined what his son's final moments might have been like.
He didn't give up all the way to the ground or all the way to the water. Really. He would have been moving those controls and trying to figure out what's going on.
The U.S. Army soldiers in the Black Hawk were conducting a proficient training flight, an annual evaluation for the experienced crew. 60 passengers and 4 crew members were on the American Airlines plane when the 2 aircraft collided. Officials have so far recovered 41 bodies and identified 28 of those people. Crews are waiting for the equipment that will help them move debris so they can get to the remaining victims.
I believe that when we remove the aircraft, that will help us resolve this number.
We'll hear from both of those families some more on tonight's CBS Evening News. Meanwhile, the NTSB is scheduled, as we mentioned, to have that news conference on what their investigation has found so far, and we'll bring that to you here live in the newsroom. Sabrina Franza, CBS News, Chicago. Marie.
Sabrina, thank you so much. Important, I think, to hear from the victims' families. We're also learning more about the air traffic controller that was on duty that day. Only one controller was managing helicopters and some planes. Typically, that is a 2-person job. The president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association tells CBS News the number of air traffic controllers really depends on the workload.
Quite often, if we don't have enough people, we begin reducing how many aircraft that we can efficiently move and safely move through the airspace.
According to a CBS News data team analysis, reports of near mid-air collisions at the nation's airports are on the rise. At least 9 near mid-air collisions have been reported, and that's over the last 20 years.